Hey class, it's Mrs. Gilling back again for your Unit 1 video assignment all about focus notes. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of your focus notes assignments, I have a surprise for you. It's called the joke of the unit. Bum bum bum. All right, question. How does a T-Rex take notes? Answer: using shorthand. Get it? Because T-Rexes have like short little arms, short hands. Rawr. Okay. I thought it was pretty cool. And I also think it'd be cool if I could actually go on a ride on a T-Rex. Feeling like a million. All right, enough of the joke of the unit. Let's go into focus notes. So if you've been with iSucceed for a while, you probably know what focus notes are. If not, this might be something new for you. So I wanted to explain how they work because you will have focus notes assignments in each of your units that you'll need to fill out. They're super important because there are no actual tests in this course. These focus notes help me make sure that you've gone through all the material you need to go through and that you understand them and that you've taken the time to try to process the information in the units. So this is what the first part of the focus notes look like. In this box here, you're going to put in the topic or objective. So at the very beginning of each unit, there's a title. You pretty much just put that title there. So if you're learning about, if the unit's about social psychology, you put social psychology for the topic. Name and date, pretty self-explanatory. For the essential question, you're going to put down a question pretty much asking what you're going to learn about in the unit. So if the unit's about social psychology, the essential question might be, what is social psychology? One trick for ways to figure out what to put in for the essential question box is to go to the introduction in each unit. At the very beginning of each unit, there's an introduction. And in that introduction, it'll give you a list of things that you should be able to learn throughout that unit. If you take each of those things that you should be able to learn and put them in question form, then you will have essential questions to write in that box. So you need to put at least one essential question, but if you want to put more, if you want to put in all of the things that you should be learning in that unit, put all of them in question form, you're welcome to. And one tip, if you're ever working on your focus notes assignments and you're just like, man, I can't remember what the essential question means. Like, what is that again? You can click on these little help buttons and it'll give you a reminder of what those things are. So kind of a helpful resource. On the left side here are the cues. Now, some teachers leave this blank. I've actually decided to fill these in for you because these are the topics, the vocab words, the questions that I feel are the most important for you to answer. So you'll see different things that you need to find or answer, and they're broken up by lesson. So over here on the left, you'll have a term, and then on the right, you'll want to answer that. So for instance, you go to lesson 5 as you're studying, you'll find survey, and you're like, oh yeah, that's one of them. And then you'll write a short description of what survey means. And then when you come to experiment study, oh yeah, that's one of them. You'll write down what an experiment study is. It's really important that you work on this throughout the unit. If you wait until the end, it kind of defeats the purpose, right? You're supposed to be processing it as you go. So have your document open with each unit, and then when they come up, write the answer, and it's going to be way better for you, way easier in the long run to do that. After you've gone through all the vocab words, all of those questions that come up, you'll need to write a short summary. It doesn't have to be super long, just a couple sentences explaining what you learned in the unit. Then this box is also important. It's how the information connects to your world. So you're going to open up or you're going to look at your notes, you're going to think about everything in the unit, and you're going to find at least one way that something you learned connected to your world. So for instance, if the unit's about, social psychology, you can say, I learned these tips about ways I can be more social, or I learned why maybe I'm not so social. Just explain how something connects to your world and try your best to use complete sentences there. There's some good tips at the very top of your focus notes assignment that lets you know kind of how to fill them out. And like I said, you start with the topic objective, you work through the cue section, and you answer your summary and connection. One important thing that I would recommend doing is after each lesson, set a timer for just 2 minutes and go through your notes and highlight the important vocab words, underline important concepts. You have to do a little bit of highlighting and underlining in order to get full credit. So maybe you highlight the key points that are important to remember with that vocab word. Figure out a system that works for you, but make sure it uses some highlighting and some underlining. And then move on to the next lesson. When that lesson's over, set the timer for a couple minutes. Repeat that process again with the processing. That'll make sure you're not just going through it really fast, and it'll hopefully help you there. But again, if you forget the steps, they're all there on the top. So how will this these assignments be submitted? First of all, you can complete them on Google Docs and upload them at the end of the unit. So when you'll see the links to the focus notes in the unit, they're all embedded right there in the course. You'll be able to find them. And when you click on it, it'll force you to make a copy. So you'll save that copy, and that's what you'll want to work from as you're going through each unit. And then at the end of the unit, there's a place for you to upload your Google Doc. You can just put the link right there to it, and I'll be able to access it. If you're somebody that likes to take notes by hand, which is actually an awesome way, it's probably a better way realistically to process your notes, you can absolutely do that. Just make sure that you're following all the steps, that you're answering all the cues that are there, that you're doing the highlighting and the underlining. All of the same steps need to be followed, but you are welcome to either print it out and just fill them in there, or if you want to kind of freehand it all, you're welcome to do that as well. You would just need to take a picture of your notes and then upload that picture at the end of the unit where it tells you to do that. This is how they'll be graded. So you get 70 points for filling out the notes section. That's the hardest part, the most important part, answering all those cues on that notes section side. You get 10 points for completing the summary, 10 points for the connection, explaining how something from the unit connects to your world. You get 5 points for processing your notes. That's going back and doing some highlighting and underlining. And then you get 5 points for filling out the essential question. That's that part at the beginning where you're writing that question about what you're learning in the unit. So that's focus notes for you. Please, I know I talked to you about this in the last video, but they are super important. These are going to be so helpful for you in your life, and they're going to be so helpful in processing the information. There are no tests in this course. So your focus notes really help you demonstrate that you've understood the material and that you're trying to understand the material and that you've gone through all of the material. They are worth 15% of your grade. So please do them as you go so it's not hard on you, and make sure you have a good understanding of the material. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. But other than that, I hope you guys have an awesome day. Thanks so much.